Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the first 2019 episode of LRM Ranks It. You'll never guess what we're doing. We're going to actually be ranking the top 5 movies of 2018. I'm joined today by none other than Nick Doll, who writes Breaking Geek. Say hello to the world, Nick.
Howdy, partner.
And we're actually going to be doing some changes here in 2019 with LRM Ranks It. Fans said, hey, can you guys shorten the videos? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? So that's what we're going to do. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the top 5, our personal top 5 videos from 2018, or not videos, films. Geez, videos sounds like Total Request Live or something like that. I always hated TRL. I really did, because the music that I listened to never got on there. There's like some weird odd period where you could hear the occasional, punk rock song, but whatever. So that's what we're going to be talking about, our top 5 favorite films of 2018. Nick, how was your 2018 overall?
And movie-wise, fantastic.
Yeah, movie-wise. It really was.
I would say there were, just like last year, I think I would struggle to make a top 10. Like, I saw more than that number of films, but I don't know if there are 10 deserving films. Mm-hmm. But it was really hard to do just a top 5, because like my top 7 or so were super solid movies, and it was really hard to come up with the 4 and 5 for me. Because like full of superheroes and then other stuff. It was a great year.
Yeah, it's crazy with the superhero stuff. It really is. There was a long time ago where superhero movies weren't the quality that they are. Yeah, you may have enjoyed it, but comparing it to other films that came out, well, there was no comparison. And we live in an age to where a comic book movie can be a top movie. Like it top in visuals, a top in story, a top in actors and actresses. It's a great time to be a geek. Would you not agree?
Oh yeah, it's the best time. I still always say this, but it's like I wish I was 12 when this started, because I would be
God.
Like it would have been, as a kid, it would have blown my mind even more
Maybe
than it
not
does as an adult.
Maybe not 12, but maybe like 13 or 14. Come on, man. I want to be a teenager. So that way I can get into a little bit more trouble. Not that.
And then but by the time we're here at the 10th anniversary of Marvel, we'd already be 23. So we'd be adults anyway.
Yeah, it's all
lasted
good.
So long. It's amazing.
It is insane, and hey, here's hoping to 10 more years full of awesomeness. So, you guys know what we're going to be talking about. I'm sorry, there are movies that we did not get to see. If your favorite movie does not make it on the list, let us know in the comments below what it was, and we'll tell you whether or not we saw it and why it didn't make our list. Or, hey, look, man, between having me, I've got a 5-year-old, I've got to find a babysitter for to go see a lot of movies. Movies start racking up in price for me pretty high. But yeah, definitely let us know in the comments below. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and that bell so you can be notified every time new LRM Ranks hits the interweb. And of course, always go to the website, lrmonline.com, where you can check out all of our stories. Nick, go ahead and shoot us with your number 5 movie of 2018.
All right, my number 5 movie of 2018 is Black Panther. Rawr. I talked about it briefly on, well, not probably more in depth on Origins when we did our Origins episode. It's just one of the all-around greatest Marvel projects. It might not have the same like level or scale as Infinity War, but I mean, I think it still has the best cast overall of any Marvel movie, even more so than Infinity War. Greatest villain in the MCU behind Thanos is Killmonger. And it was just kind of a look at a world we'd never really seen before within Marvel, while also kind of opening it up in the same way Spider-Verse opened it up for, other ethnicities to kind of see themselves on the big screen, which gave it almost as important as a cultural impact as it just was, damn enjoyable also. But yeah.
Definitely. Black Panther is a great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It may or may not be on my list. We'll find out here in a few movies. What was it about that movie that put it above? Because was there a movie right behind it? Like, was there a number? Your number 6, if you were doing 10, was your number 6 close? What was it that put Panther at number 5 for you?
Cause my number 6 probably would have been like Deadpool or Spider-Verse or something. So
there's a big difference between your. It was definitely making your list no matter what.
Well, those two are really close. Like I said, I struggled with 4 and 5, but I don't know. It's just, it really is a super, like, if all these Marvel movies have a subgenre, this is really like a James Bond type movie. In addition to being a big Kingdom movie, which was really cool. And and Michael B. Jordan just crushes it so hard, and Ryan Coogler, the director, crushes it, and it's just it's one of the better Marvel films, quality like all around, I would say.
Absolutely. So coming in at number 5 for me is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Look, this is not the best Spider-Man movie ever. I think there's several factors that really make this movie stand out to people. It's a different character, but we did have to go through the origin story. They did it kind of creatively for everybody, but with Miles, we really truly got the traditional origin story, which that's a knock against it for me. But the animation style, the freshness of it, the newness of it, there's a lot of great things that make this movie stand out, including a really fun story. I love the voice actors. I think everybody did a great job. The comedy is great. The Easter eggs, they're there. The self-deprecation Sony had, making fun of themselves for Spider-Man 3. Absolutely love that. But for me, it's not necessarily the best Spider-Man movie ever, but it's definitely in that top 3 for Spider-Man movies. And me and you might have to do an abridged update on our LRM Ranks the Spider-Man movies to see where we include this.
Well, technically, we could call it live-action Spider-Man movies, but maybe we should have called it theatrical.
Theatrical, yeah, something like that. But
so this counts.
We can look at doing something like that. And yeah, so number 5, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's a blast of a film, very unique with the animation style. I wondered if the stutterness would bother me, and it didn't. I found myself thoroughly entertained from beginning to end.
Okay, well, I liked it a lot too. I kind of see it as people are overreacting because they just saw it when they call it the best superhero movie.
Yeah.
I could see why they would say best Spider-Man, but like you, I again disagree. It's a great film. I loved it. I wish it could make my top 5. That probably would have been my number 6 or 5, It is my number 6. Just I thought it was more groundbreaking in the animation style, and I didn't find the plot necessary. Oh, and also multiverses, but overall I didn't find it. It's funner and it's more kiddie, which is fine.
Yep.
But like, and it was really super creative. Maybe not even more kiddie, but
and the villain side is lacking, but I do think that this would make an incredible Spider-Man series. I've been overly disappointed in most of the cartoons that have come out over the last few years from Spider-Man, but yep, not too shabby. Let's carry on. Nick, your number 4.
Black Klansman.
Nice. That is one that I've not seen yet. I need to see it. It's on my list.
It's very good. I kind of consider it the Get Out of this year. Like, where Sorry to Bother You kind of like it could have been this. I think this is closer to in tone, where it's not a horror movie, but it's dealing with really rough issues.
Right.
And yet it's hilarious. Topher Grace as David Duke is both uncanny and hilarious because it's Topher Grace. There are a lot of really funny moments dealing with, it's deadly serious, like life and death situations. But it can also have there's a lot of humor there. And the great acting performances, mostly Adam Driver. Absolutely crushes it as he's just a cop, an undercover cop. He's playing I guess the plot is when he's on the phone, it's the black Colorado Springs,
and he's the in-person one.
Yeah, even though their voices sound nothing alike, which they deal with a little bit. And yeah, it's both like another like look at a rough time in our history, and it almost relates a little bit to now, but it's also just it's enjoyable. It's over the top in that area and enjoyable, and its biggest weakness is it ties itself too closely to 2016, I think, or 18, where it kind of shoves it down your throat at the end. There's like a montage of recent events.
I don't get to go out and see a lot of movies in theaters these days. My son sat all the way through Spider-Verse, which is good. Nice. He sat all the way through The Grinch, which was good, but he had a hard time. There was a movie we saw afterwards, and I cannot remember what it was that we saw. But we've seen 3 movies recently, and the middle one he had a hard time sitting still through. So that was kind of upsetting. So he's not quite there yet. But when he gets there, man, I can't wait. Hopefully by the time Avengers Endgame comes out, that boy's there. Preview night, he's going to miss school the next day, and he can handle it. My number 4 is the movie in the middle. Jesus. It's Ralph Breaks the Internet. That was the movie in the...
That's what I was going to ask.
That was the movie in the middle, I believe. So Ralph Breaks the Internet is my number 4. I am a huge Wreck-It Ralph fan. Look forward to myself and our editor-in-chief, Joseph Jammer Medina, ranking the Pixar movies. You might find Wreck-It Ralph on there once or twice for me.
It's not Pixar.
Absolutely love this. What's that?
Oh,
sorry, Disney Animated Studios. 2000 to present. Sorry, there's 2 Disney things coming out that me and Jammer did. We got Pixar and Disney Animated Studios. Good catch, Nick. Good catch. It's funny. I looked at the microphone as if I was. Anyways, so it's a great movie. I had an absolute blast watching this movie. I love the first one. This one, of course, didn't have as much heart as that first one. I don't think they utilized their world of the internet to the fullest extent that they could have. But I really love the emotional and more personalized story between Vanellope and Ralph. And some of the deeper notes that are running through that movie are even more so, are more deep, if you will. I don't like using the word deep so much, but they're more deep than what was in the first film. The first film's fairly superficial. A guy that's a bad guy by trade, but is not a bad guy in his heart, and has to learn how to deal with that. But it was a fun movie. I can't wait to watch it again. I love all the comedy with it. Beyond the Disney princess scene, which was pretty funny. Especially when they realized they don't all have to wear frilly dresses. They can wear sleep pants. So it was great. Did you catch Ralph Breaks the Internet?
I am currently on a horribly thought out Disney boycott where I'm still paying. Well, I'm not really paying because I work in a movie theater, but I'm still paying for Marvel and Star Wars, but because of the James Gunn thing, I'm gonna go wait till Disney Plus to indulge in any other Disney movies.
Okay.
But
cool. Did you like the first Wreck-It Ralph?
I did. I enjoyed it. And am I incorrect? Are there both Star Wars and Marvel Easter eggs in it because it's the internet?
Yes, there is.
That's awesome. And there's a Stan Lee cameo, right?
And a Stan Lee cameo. Absolutely.
Well, maybe it counts as a Marvel movie then, and maybe I'll check it out before Disney Plus.
Well, let's go ahead and carry on and get to the top 3.
Okay. This is the one I don't think you'll find on many people's list. I think it was overlooked, just like the Oscars overlooked February movies. But everyone remembers Black Panther. Game Night. Game Night's one of the funniest movies I've seen in years, I would say. And it's because it does something special that a lot of comedies don't do today. It seems like most comedies today are ad-libbed. Most, like, you have your plot, like, like Holmes and Watson, a Seth Rogen movie. There's a lot of ad-libbing, and you're just making jokes by saying dirty words and stuff, which I'm fine with and I love. But this is so tightly scripted, giving every minor character that's a part of Game Night, not just Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, like a full through line about their relationship. So It's tightly written. The jokes are great. Jesse Plemons is creepy as hell as the neighbor with the dog. It's not a lot to it. It's actually not that much different than The Man Who Knew Too Little, which I rewatched this weekend. It's that kind of thing where they think for a while they think they're in the game that's been bought for them, and it's turned out to be real. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's shocking, hilarious. Some of the moments are very violent, but it makes it kind of funny because you're not expecting it. And I just couldn't recommend this more than probably any comedy in about 5 years. So.
Jeez, that's big, bold
it's
words.
It's really good.
I have not seen that movie at all. The premise, I saw it. I was like, that might be something me and the wife could watch on a weekend when I'm off for work.
I absolutely recommend watching it with your wife.
Okay, cool. Life got in the way, and it just kind of went by the wayside. So, but to make it to your number 3 over the last 2, is that because it's a comedy and you like to laugh? What was it that put that in your top 3?
It's just such a shocking comedy in that, like, this isn't your typical comedy these days. This kind of harkens back to an older age of, even you go back to the 80s, you have your SNL guys like Chevy Chase riffing, but like it almost reminds me of Arrested Development, my favorite TV show, which feels, this one doesn't feel ad-lib, but it's just so tightly scripted. You cramp in so many jokes that it does take multiple viewings to be like, oh, I laughed over that joke last time. And it's just, and I love, Jason Bateman's one of my favorite actors.
I like Jason Bateman,
I love him
too. I really do.
And Rachel McAdams is, Rachel.
My number 3 is Black Panther. I'm a super geek. I don't know if you guys can tell. I've got, the Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man tattoos, got giant stuff on the back, and I've got 4 Final Fantasy tattoos, so it's no surprise that the overwhelming majority of my favorite films this year are all geek related. Everything that you said about Black Panther, I'm really, really wanting to see this be Marvel's first Oscar winner. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's a Best Picture winner, nor do I think Infinity War is a Best Picture winner. Things dealing with sound and effects, absolutely both of those. But the one thing that I really want Black Panther to win, because there was another, is makeup and costumes. Because makeup effects is something that Suicide Squad won, and that was garbage. Complete and utter garbage when Suicide Squad won.
Costumes aren't even
good. Costumes are not even good, but makeup, yeah. So, but makeup, costumes, effects, things like that, Black Panther, absolutely. There are definitely, it's got a great story and a great villain. I do think that Killmonger could have benefited from about 15 more minutes of screen time to really flesh him out just a little bit more. Biggest disappointment for me in Black Panther was the death of Claw. I think that was a waste of a villain that you could have brought back at a later time, maybe in a Thunderbolts movie.
Ooh.
See?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that to me was the worst part of Black Panther. It makes it into my top 3 because it was a complete blast of a film. And those of you that listen to LRM Ranks It or watch it, you know I use the word blast way too much. I apologize for that. So, Black Panther.
And deep.
Yeah. and deep and dark, and I always hate using dark to describe stuff, but Black Panther's my number 3, and I am hoping that it does get some Oscar love, and hey, if it does get Best Picture or Infinity War gets a nomination for that, yeah, go for it. Whatever, guys, put it in for everything.
I think Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan, the screenplay, and perhaps the director are actually worthy of winning an Oscar.
Yeah,
on that
and
one.
Costumes.
Yeah, and definitely costumes is a given.
If it doesn't win costumes, I will legitimately write angry letters.
I assume you're immediately when you say costumes, I just think of the scene at the waterfall with all the different people from all the different tribes.
Or even
the
big battle, you know?
Yeah.
Even the big battle. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a quick moment before we get to the top 2 and make sure we plug everything that we're supposed to plug. We have the Los Fanboys podcast that comes out every Friday. You know, LRM Ranks It hits every Tuesday. And of course, we have I Buy That for $1. It's on a little bit of a hiatus. Might be out this Thursday coming up. It might take one more, but I Buy That for $1 from Stefan White usually hits on Thursdays. I have the Katina that comes out on Thursdays as well. And Nick, you do something. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but what is it?
It's a staple of LRM, according to Seth. Breaking Geek. I'm trying to get up to 5 days a week in the new year by maybe doing 2 longer ones and 3 shorter ones. And I like to have on guests like Kyle to discuss useless geek information, so it's great.
Sweet deal. Alrighty, well, Nick, let's go ahead and continue on with your number 2.
My number 2 is Blasphemy because it's not number 1. Avengers Infinity War. The greatest Marvel experience behind Winter Soldier. The first event film, I would call it. In that Avengers
the first event
is like
film ever?
Oh, I mean like as far as the modern age of I mean it in the comic book terms. Like Secret Wars was the first event in comics.
Well, yeah. Okay, I got it now.
The other Avengers are more
I understand
like
what you meant. Civil War was the first event film then.
No, but I would say the other ones are more like, well, yeah, but it's because it's following a plot, but it's not. I call this one the first event film because it's built on 20 movies and it takes 2 parts.
Okay.
Like I consider the Avengers, like even that Civil War is still like an issue of Captain America. The Avengers movies are mostly issues of Avengers, but this is like the big crossover where you bring in the Guardians and like all the side characters you haven't been paying enough attention with in the other Avengers movies, and just cram it so full it shouldn't work, but it does. And this is the one that needs to win best special effects because Thanos is absolutely stunning in every shot. He's got arm hair and like moles and like he's not shaven in like a day or 2.
Peach fuzz and stuff on it. Yeah, absolutely.
And just, I mean, all your favorite actors from the other movies bring it just as hard as they brought it before.
And you get some great interactions between characters you've been waiting to see talk to each other. Since
like Sherlock v. Sherlock with Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, do you concur? Yep. It's so good. And then again, like it's probably the most serious Avengers movie and Marvel movie in general, but it's still hilarious. Absolutely. Like that's their thing. So I mean, nothing beats Winter Soldier holding Rocket and them doing a big circle with double guns. That was like I was clapping and like standing up.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was the only one in the theater because I was screening it before work. But I was clapping and standing up and woo-wooing and like.
See, I don't know if I would have done that. I think I would have. I loved being there. We went with the first showing at one of the local theaters where I live. There's freaking like 10 theaters within 20 minutes. But we were lucky enough to be in the first viewing for the theater that we chose to go to, the one closest to my house, and I love that experience. I've loved that experience with the majority of the Marvel movies, definitely all of the Avengers films, and I look forward to it in April 2019, April 26th.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the audience reaction.
Yep,
I just wanted to watch it twice before it came out, so I watched it 2 mornings at 5 a.m. in a row, and then I saw it like 3 or 4 more times with an audience. So.
Well, I'm not going to have too much to say right now. I'm going to get into my number 2 because, my number 2 is a Steven Spielberg film that came out this year. A wonderful one called Ready Player One. And then let me tell you guys about Ready Player One. It is beyond the nostalgia factor. Nostalgia is a big part of it. I've started reading the book. I have not finished it. I did not want to read the book before the movie because I didn't want to be in that mindset of nothing's going to compare to this book. So I'm in the process of reading the book while also catching up on comic books. I've had some health issues and so I'm using the time I've been off of work to kind of catch up on reading. But anyways, Ready Player One. It's this great movie that does have a lot of nostalgia, but it's also got a great Steven Spielberg story. And it is one of the most Spielbergy films Spielberg has ever made, from his comedies to his dramas and everything in between. One of the best parts about this movie is the Blu-ray and watching all of the extras. The technological advancements used to make this movie are insane. To watch Steven Spielberg pop on a VR set so he can walk around the Oasis and set up shots is so cool, and that added a completely different layer to this movie. It's a great feel-good movie. I can pop it in at any time on any day. I can't tell you how many times I've already seen it this year. I love Ready Player One. It makes number 2 easily in my top 3, and it is quite possibly one of my, I'd say, top 10, top 15 films of all time. I love Ready Player One. Yeah, really? No joke.
Like I was afraid I would dislike it because the amount of CGI and Spielberg's best stuff is CGI light, like Jurassic Park. Like it's used in a way it should be used. Yes. And it actually made sense for this plot to use that much CGI, obviously.
Absolutely.
And it looks spectacular, but for me, it was that heart in this movie crushed me. Like the relationship between the creator and Simon Pegg's character. I think if I saw this, when I see it a second time, I'll like it a lot more than the first time. Yeah, I cried.
So you've still only seen it once?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it since theaters. I'm hoping to pick up that and Pacific Rim when they cost like $10. Pacific Rim 2.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody, it was definitely. We'll talk more on the podcast. Shut your mouth. If anybody knows Nick Doll, has been following the LRM exclusive Twitter feed, seen some of the memes from one of our other contributors, Seth, who I think's LRM Seth. You guys know what Nick's number 1 movie is. So Nick, go ahead and inundate us with how wonderful Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie are.
I almost called the movie Christopher McQuarrie Fallout, but it's almost true. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yay!
It's the greatest action movie since Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just, it's insane what they accomplished. Like, the main reason I love, like, this is kind of why I almost dumped on Ready Player One a little bit, even though I love it, is I love stunt work, and the stunt work here is unparalleled. And this is the Mission Impossible movie that does tie every little element you were wondering about from all 5 of the other movies in some small way, even if it's just like a winky reference. I'm watching the special features on this the same way. It's like, wow, some of the stunts they did, they malfunctioned, and Tom Cruise was like, we gotta go, let's do it. And it's just, there won't be another action star like Cruise after this, mostly because no other studio is going to be like, yeah, we'll pay your insurance for a new young actor to jump out of an airplane or whatever. Yeah. But it's like he always says in interviews, and I love it. It's just that he wants to bring the audience the best, most visceral experience possible. And that means risking life and limb. which he does better than ever before in this film. It's amazing that Christopher McQuarrie works without a script. So there are actually entire stunts cut that are in the special features. They're just as good as the other stunts, but as they shot, they're like, that scene doesn't make sense anymore. And
interesting.
It's just and then you can watch a man's ankle break on screen. And I could talk about it for hours, but that's all.
So for someone like me who saw the first one in theaters, saw the second one in theaters, and was so done because of the second one that they never watched another one, do you suggest I pick up at 3, or do you suggest I pick up at 4? What do you think I should do if you were like, hey Kyle, I want to be able to discuss Mission Impossible with you? Knowing I've seen the first 2, what would you say I should watch next?
Well, they all get better from 2.
Okay.
3 is moderately better, and then 4 is an excellent film. And from there,
so maybe start with 4. If I start with 4, 5, and 6, I'll be okay.
I think for the plot, you'd want to do 3. Because it sets up his wife, and she plays out throughout the other 3 in a way.
Okay.
Especially in this.
I'll think about it. About it.
No, I mean, this is a franchise. Again, this is a franchise no one watched just because of Tom Cruise, but it's my second favorite franchise behind Indiana Jones, with more good.
You want to know my
favorite
favorite
Indiana Jones?
My favorite Tom Cruise film, man, believe it or not, is War of the Worlds. It's the first Tom Cruise film where I felt like he really wasn't Tom Cruise, because a lot of the times it's just Tom Cruise on screen. It's Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
And this is Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's Nick's number 1. That leaves my number 1, which is, of course, Avengers Infinity War. The absolute best comic book movie. Not necessarily best film, but best comic book movie ever. It is, like you said, it's a major event film. I think it is more comic booky than just about anything I've seen. Now, I'll tell you what. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse gives it a run for its money. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the most comic booky Spider-Man movie. And not just the aesthetic. Yeah, I mean, not just like the thought bubbles and stuff like that, but the story and the progression and things like that. The characters, definitely. And Infinity War is one of those. Much like the first Avengers film, there are entire scenes from Infinity War you can take it, freeze it, and that could be a comic book panel. And I mean, you think of stuff like spinning rocket around, the Winter Soldier spinning rocket around, Thor's entrance, Thanos, the back of Thanos, and then his, dread it, run from it, speech, that could be a panel. All these things could be panels. And part of the wonder of Infinity War is the fact that, much like Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Civil War, Infinity War should not have worked. There's no way you manage that much going on and it feels good. And I'll tell you what, I know movies with 3 or 4 main characters and a very focused story that have horrible pacing issues. This movie never drags a moment to me. As a matter of fact, when we first saw it in theaters, I was like, there's no way it's almost over. We still got to have like 30 minutes left. And it's like, no, it's already been almost 2.5 hours. Holy shit. You're kidding me? That movie moves so smoothly. Infinity War, I hope it takes away. I hope Marvel brings home at least 2 or 3 Oscars this year for Black Panther and Infinity War. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for Avengers Endgame.
Ditto. So it's your absolute favorite MCU film then, if it's your favorite comic book film?
No.
Or just saying most comic booky.
Yeah, while I think it's the best comic book movie of them all, I still slightly put Winter Soldier above it as a... Yeah, and it's weird how you got to approach movies. Like, if you approach Spider-Man movies based off of today's standards, then of course, like, then Into the Spider-Verse is number 1 or 2, easily. Yeah. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 and the Amazing Spider-Man films, they don't hold up as well. But you gotta put certain things in the context.
Mm-hmm. One follow-up question for you. Well, 2 follow-up questions that go together. Did you cry?
No, I don't cry.
Do you ever? That was the second question. Do you ever cry in movies?
I have gotten misty, but I can't think of a single movie in recent history. No, but I'm saying like
tears going down my cheek watching this.
Yeah, movie. No, I can't think of a movie a recent movie where I've had tears go down my eyes. No,
because like I said, then that means I even cried at your second favorite movie of the year, and you didn't.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, guys, that covers it, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there, that covers our top 5 2018 movies. Nick, we have so much to look forward to in 2019, don't we, man? We got, what, Star Wars Episode 9, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Don't overlook Glass. Really excited.
Glass? X-Men Dark Phoenix.
I'm gonna skip that one.
Shazam, I'm
if you're
actually
into that.
kind of interested in Shazam. Yeah, first trailer.
Hellboy?
I want to see more. Hellboy, I'm waiting for them to tell me what's going to be different, because if you basically just made the same Hellboy all over again, why didn't you do Del Toro's Hellboy 3? So, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 2019's got an opportunity to have some knockout home runs, and Captain Marvel. Talk about something that's not a sequel or a spinoff. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Let us know what you think about this new format for LRM Ranks It. Make sure you check out the LRM Ranks It podcast and get the more in-depth conversations, which me and Nick are going to go into right after we are done filming this. Make sure, again, you hit that thumbs up. Leave some comments below, whether it's here on the LRMonline.com page or the YouTube channel, and hit that bell so you can be notified every time we post new product. Nick, where can they find you at online?
I am at LRM_Nick on Twitter, and again, Breaking Geek. Read it.
Great stuff. And I am at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. And you guys know about the Cantina, and you're watching LRM Ranks It. Thank you so much. I hope you guys had a great and safe new year. Happy New Year. Great things to 2019. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Adios.
Hey, everybody. Did you like what you just watched? Do you want to see more? Check out the other great videos available here on the LRM Online YouTube channel. Also, go check out our website, lrmonline.com, to see all the great stories that we publish every day.